Welcome to season 2 of the What to Say TV show. I am so excited because this season is going to be even more exciting, more fun, and even more entertaining. We're hoping to make it better than season 1. We'll have a fantastic lineup. There will be lots of guests waiting for you, and I'm going to be getting them to reveal their tips and tricks and even some of their secrets. Whether you are a business leader, an entrepreneur, or public speaker, or whether you just want to learn more how to communicate more effectively, this show is for you. So join me and keep watching so that you can learn what to say. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the What to Say TV show, where we explore all things communication. I'm Dr. Julie, your host, and I'm also a best-selling author of the 7 Tactics to Communication Completions. I am got numerous credentials, but that doesn't matter because today we're going to talk all things communication, and it's all about making the idea of what you have to say, how to say it, making your point important, and also avoiding those miscommunications where you feel like you're not getting your point across. So we're going to try to end some of that. But our features all the time are tips and tricks for effective communication. But we have a special guest that's going to be here to help us be our better selves. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be back from our sponsors and we'll introduce our guest in just a second. And welcome back from our sponsor break. And today we have a special guest, Terry J. Walker. Terry J. is I would say the expert on all kinds of things. And today we're gonna dive into some things that she's an expert on. She and I have a good background, both of us, in human communication, human performance, peak performance, wellness, all these things that are making our lives better and more important to connect with other people with that. So for the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let Terry J. Would you please introduce yourself, my friend? Tell me all about yourself a little bit so that we all know.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Julie, and I'm so happy to be here with you on your show and on What to Say. I love it. I love it. And we all have a lot of things to say, but sometimes we don't get them out the way that we want to. So I am so very grateful to be here with you today. And I, like you, we've got all kinds of things that we could say about ourselves, but I'm going to leave some of that alone as well. But I am a coach and an author and a corporate trainer, motivational speaker, and I am very excited to be here with you today.
It's just like we always say, and a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
The thing I notice about both of us is we are not, just the young chickies on the block. We've had experience, we know these things, and we're here to help today, to help other people that may be having some struggles and some concerns. what would you say, Terry J, would be the most important thing about just becoming aware of yourself, aware of some of the things that you need to do and to be in order to be, I'd say, what, a functional human being, a good human being, the right human being? Pick it.
I think they're all good. But the thing about it is for you, I think on some of the stuff on what to say and how to become maybe your better or best self is to start with some things like affirmations. That's very, very important. And of course, you know, the name of my company is Inspire and Motivate with the acronym I am,
Mm.
which stands for, you know, that actually creates, they're two very powerful words that actually create your reality. And I think some of the things that I did to make some changes, and you mentioned too, we're, you know, kind of older and, you know, not the young kids
No,
on
no,
the
no,
block,
no, no, no,
but we've,
mature experience. No, no,
there we go. We're a little more mature and
right? Isn't that
experienced,
better?
if
Isn't that
you
better to
will.
say that? Let's take our, senior citizens, and neither one of us are senior citizens, right?
No,
So we can say this, but I was told by I'm a member of CSA, which is Certified Senior Advisors, and they said, we do not use the word elderly, old. We use the words, we don't even use, they hardly use senior either. So the
oh
terminology
wow,
is changing. And just think,
I
people
love
can
it.
live well into their 90s and be functional, and I know one lady that went to a job. She was 100 years old. She went to a job every day. So there you go. I mean, so
And I heard about someone who did that. So, you know, even three, and everybody's like, Terry, you've got some big genes in you. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not sure about all of that. But yes, we are a little more mature. We've been around the block. And I think helping to learn more is one of the key that all of us need to do and realize, even throughout the course of our journey with life. I think and actually time to say, why am I creating this? Why is this always happening to me? There's supposed to be better things out there. And by just taking the time to be more mindful and more in the moment with ourselves and to understand we create our reality. I am, again, are two very powerful words for what you choose to put after them do create your reality. So, what are you creating? Are you happy with what you're creating? All of these things we need to ask ourselves because what you put out there is going to be mirrored and reflected back to you.
yeah, that you're absolutely right. Too, I always teach people that the most powerful words in the English language are I am. And you cannot escape that. And whatever you want to start working towards starts with I am, and
Yes.
that's that energy belief that something is currently there, and you don't
Mhm.
have to see it to believe it. So let's talk a little bit about getting, a lot of people don't know what their purpose in life is, and they're not sure. And you see on the news today, everybody wants to have their, 15 minutes of fame, and they want to, drive a Rolls Royce, and they want to have lots of money. And I think a lot of us all want all that stuff, but we don't always realize that the people that have those things are just as happy or unhappy as we are. Most of them are unhappy. And so how do we think about our purpose in life and what we're here to do in our lives? I mean, I know for me, I'm here to help other people. I'm here to use the skills and talents and abilities that I have to shortcut for other people and help them, lift them up if I can. So what do you think is the way, how do people figure that out? And maybe what I should say, what's yours?
Well, I think too, I think, and something that I've really had to learn over the course of the last few years has been to trust in myself. And I
Mhm.
think trust is a big key for any and all of us because we're always looking and seeking those things outside of us. And as I even wrote in one of my books, if you're waiting for somewhere, sometime someday or someone to make your life whole and complete, you're going to be waiting a very, very long time.
Mhm.
And so we need to take the time to be more present within ourselves. I truly believe that everyone is here for a reason and a purpose in this place, in this time, in this moment. And I truly believe also that everyone has unique skills and abilities or something that they're passionate about, if you will. And so, how can we learn to help people to bring that out? Some of us wait a little longer than others, and some of us maybe on the younger generation who already know what that is.
Mhm.
But for me, it took a while to get to that point because I was always told, if you will, the great opinions of others that you need to work, you need to save, you need to do all of these things and climb the corporate ladder or whatever the case may be. And for me, I worked to do that
Yeah.
for many, many years, but I still was not happy. And like you mentioned, all of these people who may have the Rolls Royce or whatever the case may be, but they're really not happy because what a lot of people are doing is chasing that something, someone, sometime, somewhere to make them feel whole and complete. And a lot of times that's not necessarily the case. We have to start within.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back and talk about a little bit more. And we're going to talk a little more about purpose and those things that are super important and should be part of our lives. And we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the What to Say TV show, where my special guest, Terry J. Walker, is here as Mupa Entertainment would say in the house. I never say that, but I had to say I'm practicing that. So Terry, how did you, and for the people that are watching, how do people find their purpose? I mean, oftentimes we're on a journey of life and we go through life and sometimes we're on autopilot. We're just just going through the motions. And all of a sudden, maybe something hits them or somebody says, this is my purpose. How do you know? I mean, how do you know what you got?
I think Dr. Julie, I'm a huge advocate for Wayne Dyer. I think Dr. Wayne
Oh,
Dyer
yes,
was
I
a
love him.
big advocate who changed my life. And one of his books was Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, the
Hmm.
book and wisdom of the Tao. And so I delved into that because I always wondered what my purpose was. And I felt like I had this shield over my face, and it was like, it's right there in front of me, and I just don't know what it is. But when I began to understand and research some things, and I knew that there was something that I really loved to do, and that was speaking, educating, training, all of those things. But that wasn't necessarily all that I was doing in my corporate job. I was doing that somewhat, and that fed me. That fed my heart, it fed my spirit, it fed my mind. And having the willingness to LNT, which I do a lot of, and that is have the willingness to learn new things. And if you're willing to learn new things about yourself and decide what it is that your skills are or things that you're passionate about, whether it's a hobby, whether it's uh, something that you like to do or volunteer or help others. And one of the main questions that I learned way back when that I began to ask myself is this: how may I serve?
Mhm.
How may I serve? Because I truly believe that we're all here to learn from one another, to teach one another, and to share with one another.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we draw those lines in the sand and we think limiting thoughts that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable enough, I don't have the resources, whatever the case may be. And we go into those limiting beliefs and we allow that to clog our mind. And I think what we need to be able to do is actually release that, realize what those limiting beliefs are, find out those things that you're interested in, and learn more about it. We're not here to go from A to Z in one big step. We need to learn about ourselves and the things that we're passionate about and
Mhm.
those things that seem to drive us. And almost every single time, it's going to come out to that question:
Mhm.
how may I serve? How can I help someone else? And my superstar social media sidekick, Mr. Bailey Bob, says hello.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank
If
you.
you heard him barking running through that.
Yes, 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 yes. You gotta have a little a four-legged friend around somewhere. Um, and
Hang on just a
yeah,
second.
yeah,
Let me
go ahead.
pause this.
Yeah, and we'll take another commercial break right now.
Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more? Okay. Okay. Wait, you want some more? Okay. Wait, you want some more? Okay.
And we're back with another episode of What to Say TV show with our special guest from Mupo Entertainment, Terry J. Walker. So Terry, just wanted to know, what did we talked a little bit about discovering your purpose, and I'm so in agreement with how are we here to serve? How are we here to help? I know for me personally, I know that I have lots of skills and talents and abilities, and the one thing that I don't want to happen is have those skills, talents, and abilities die in me without sharing them with other people. And how do you feel about that statement? And does that sort of do you agree with it, or do you think that you're about the same? You feel the same way, or
I totally agree with it. I heard a statement one time, don't die with the music still in you.
that's where
And
I
I
that's
think
where I got it from. Yeah, that's exactly where I got it from. And
and I think that we do create our realities. We create this journey. And I believe truly that we come from a place of nowhere. That's N-O and
yeah,
then W-H-E-R-E
yeah,
to now here.
right.
And then we're returning back to nowhere. And that's just my own spiritual belief about it. But utilizing the present moment power we have right now. Where are we in our lives? Where are we now here in this present moment? And how are we going to create our lives to create this journey and fulfill the journey that we're on? Again, by learning from one another, teaching one another, sharing with one another, by asking the question, how may I serve? By being kinder to one another and paying it forward, if you will, are
Mhm.
all good ways to start. And then to realize where your passion lies in all of that, to be able to help yourself and one another. And what are you doing to learn more about yourself, to grow within yourself?
Yeah,
Because when we're willing to grow within our lives or within ourselves, we have a small, what I call a little flicker maybe within us, but we can always breathe into that and turn it into a flame. And then that makes our energy brighter, better, and more helpful for ourselves. And when we grow, we can't help but help those around us to grow as well.
yeah. Well, they say that the mind, when it's exposed to a new idea, never is the same again. So
Yeah.
obviously, we want our brains to grow, but sharing it with other people allows the other people's brains to grow. And sense of purpose, I think you're right in the fact that sense of purpose is important to know why you're doing what you're doing. It's no fun to go through life unconscious and decide that you're going to just get up, go to work, or I mean, that's to me, that's like the life of almost like a slave. You aren't doing anything but just existing, and you have you meet your basic needs or whatever, but there's something on another plane that's so much more important. And I think finding your purpose, like you were saying, is good. And I know that there's a lot of activities out there. I think Wayne Dyer is fantastic. There's so many other ones, DeMartini, and
Mm-hmm.
even to the point where I know some of the old school things, like some of the really old people, like Dr. Joseph Murphy is one of my personal favorites. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many things. What do you think is the most important spiritual influence that you have right now, that you're, I mean, because it changes as we grow. So what's your current spiritual influence right now?
As in a person, or
Oh, a
what do
person,
you
an
ask?
idea, philosophy. You pick what you think is, I mean, obviously it's
I
what you
think,
think is important, so it's your opinion.
well, mostly for me is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Mhm.
And I live by that philosophy, and that and LNT, having that willingness to learn new things.
Mhm.
Because I think if we're willing to learn new things about ourselves and about maybe the world around us, if you will, but also having that willingness to grow. And when you're willing to change the way you look at things, like I said at the very beginning when we were talking about the importance of affirmations and the I am, a lot of times we may say a lot of things. And what I learned and began as I began to develop and grow, I would hear other people start their sentences with, because I was becoming more consciously aware, but they would
Mhm.
start their sentences with, I'm afraid that. I'm
Mhm.
afraid that this is too good to be true. I'm afraid that the other shoe's going to drop. I'm afraid that, or I'm afraid it's going to rain today. Even something that simplistic, but you begin to grow and you realize the importance of I ams, and you start hearing people around you start their sentences with, I'm afraid that.
Yeah.
And be able to, if you're willing to be able to look through and break through some of those limiting beliefs and those fear-based thoughts, then your life will begin to turn around and change.
Right.
Again, what you put out there is reflected back to you. So if I'm afraid that, I'm putting that out there, that's going to be reflected back to me. And when you're willing to change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Mhm.
Instead of starting a sentence with, I'm afraid that,
It's all about, I think
start
it's
it
all
with,
about,
I
yeah,
am that.
I think it's all about unlearning, because we unconsciously speak without thinking. And I know for me, that's
Mm-hmm.
something that, I feel like I'm just talking. And
Right.
unfortunately, we find that this just talking is what is maybe manifesting in our lives, or we have created without intentionally doing. So one of the things
Right.
I know I personally teach some of my clients is take the time to take a breath before you open your mouth, because that'll
Yes.
keep you from blurting out the the things that you may not truly mean. And it's something I've continued to work on every day, because I want to get my point across, and I want to say, and I want to participate. And sometimes it's better to just go,
Yes. And
and
taking that,
now I'm going to say something intentionally. And if it,
right.
if it the conversation runs by, guess what? It must not have been that important.
Exactly.
Yeah. So before I ask you the next question, I'm going to take another Profit Center time out and take another short break, and we'll be right back with the What to Say TV show. And welcome back to What to Say. And again, my guest is Terry J. Walker, extraordinaire coach, trainer, leader, speaker, you name it, she does it. So, Terry, what do you think was the most important turning point for you in terms of finding your purpose, your spiritual path, or just getting all those things, because I don't think we start out as a young child as a spiritual being, although we come from that. We don't always start that way. We're busy learning how to play and how to eat and how to do stuff and drive the cars and whatever. Did you have like an awakening about something, this whole thing?
I did. Actually, I began to understand that even with children, and I wrote about some of this in my book, and I've worked with children a lot and parents and families.
Mm.
But one of the things that children do that a lot of times as we get older begins to go away and we forget, and that is that creative wonder, that feeling of wonder, that creativity, that
Oh,
expression
absolutely.
of daydreaming, if you will. And oftentimes, maybe as adults have children, they're like, stop daydreaming, stop building castles in the stand, all of those types of things. I heard it too.
Me too.
But I think that as we grow older and we hear those types of things being told to us, and we need to work and we need to do this and we need to, bring home the bacon, if you will.
Yeah.
But all of those things we forget. And I think somewhere along the line, hopefully, and that's what happened to me. But I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of doing what I thought everybody else thought I should be doing, maybe if I phrase it that
Yeah,
way,
exactly.
and listening to the valuable opinions, and I use that in quotes loosely, valuable opinions of others, because I do believe that we all have our creative skills.
Yeah.
And we all have something that we're good at inside. There's something that we're passionate about. And if we can get back to that sense of wonder and get out of that busy, busy, busy life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and understand of the importance of the power that we have right now and the things that we can do in this very moment to grow within ourselves, to take better care of ourselves, to take that deep breath,
Right.
as you mentioned,
Yeah.
before, and to speak, or to listen before you speak. To
Exactly.
take the time to not jump into what someone else is saying, but actually hear them out. Take that deep breath, as you mentioned,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
stop drawing lines in the sand, but allow that person to have that creative sense of wonder, and allow yourself to do that too. And then you can move forward into brainstorming activities with one another and helping one another, or getting a coach, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be.
So let's give our viewers, let's give them 3 simple things that they can do every day to better their lives. Something that they can do, and maybe they're already doing them, but that will also validate those people that are already doing it, your overachievers. So something simple 3 things.
Okay, I'm going to do 3 things, and one is going to be a takeaway.
Okay,
I'm going to remove something. When you
that's
first
fine.
get up in the morning, take some deep breaths. Be grateful before you jump up out of bed, before you reach over and grab the cell phone and check
Never,
your messages, or
never.
whatever the case may be. Take some time in the morning before you get up out of bed and just find that sense of gratitude. Set some positive intentions for your day. This is what I intend to accomplish. Feel good about yourself. Be grateful that you woke up, that you had a bed to sleep in, whatever the case may be. The takeaway that I'm going to pull back is to take some time when you first get up in the morning, at least 30 minutes before you grab that phone or before you grab that technology, and take some time for you. If that means you need to get up 30 minutes earlier to do this, then do it. But take some time to set some intentions for the day. Those are things we can always do. Also, you can take time to journal throughout your day. And
Mhm.
if you can find time, and it's very, very important, and this is something I try to do at least every day, if I can, if not every other day, is taking the time to meditate, to stop the mind, to slow down, and to allow yourself to be centered. And that will help your energy improve. And you will, if you will practice these things, you'll find that your energy will improve and you'll get more done
Mhm.
with less effort
And stress, which
and
is, yeah, which is a big thing. Those are really good, Terry. I think everybody can, start that. Now, I have a friend who is a meditation coach extraordinaire, and his comment is, and with his years of expertise, he's no spring chicken either. And one of the things he said, for those of you that are worried about having 30 full minutes to do a meditation, the meditation yogi that this gentleman's coach, okay, everybody has a coach. I'm a coach, you're a coach, but we all have coaches as well. So
Right.
one of the things that his coach said was, it doesn't matter how long you meditate,
Right.
as long as you do it consistently. So for those of you that are freaking out right now saying, oh, I don't know, everybody has 5 minutes.
Minutes.
And all you need is 5 minutes to stop and ground yourself. Think about what you're doing, breathe. And even sometimes, if you're going to go into the grocery store or something, just take that 5 minutes and sit in the car and just breathe. That's enough.
Mhm.
Just
Yes.
stare into space. You'll find that you feel like you just actually feel lighter and happier as well. So that's great. Terry J, tell me, what's one thing that you learned from writing all you've written a lot of books, I've written a lot of books, publication, whatever. What's one thing you learned about writing a book? Other than
Ooh.
it's not as hard as you think it is.
Oh, well, that depends on who you ask.
Well, okay,
Actually, no,
I was an English person, so what can I say?
well,
It-
there's where we differ.
okay, then,
But no, actually, I love
we'll
to
write a
write.
book together. How about that?
There we go. I love to write. It's just taking the time to allow those creative juices to begin to unfold and to put the time into it. Because for me, when I do this, I have to be in a certain zone.
Yeah.
I know that for myself. I have to be in a certain place to be able to put
There's the
that out
writer's
there.
mentality. You're right. The writer's mentality. You have to,
Is
and here's another thing that, we talk all this whole time. We talked about different things, but we forgot to say, whatever you do, you got to be focused.
Mhm.
Your
Yes,
mind, your concentration level, you have to be in the flow to do it. So
absolutely.
you've got to get, and it doesn't matter what task it is, if you're shooting hoops or you're writing or you're cleaning the house, it doesn't matter, because you got to be in that flow state, and you've got to be able to get right into
Exactly.
that concentration, because when you're in that, there's nothing going on but what you're doing. So, and a lot of times
Right.
of us are trying to multitask. Do you think that's a problem? People trying to too much multitasking? I mean, you work with a corporate too, so.
I do. And I ask that question a lot of times on my corporate trainings, and I'll say, who in here thinks they likes to multitask? And I get all kinds of hands. And I'm like, well, let me just say one thing for you.
Let me tell you,
Many of
okay.
us try to multitask, but the truth of the matter is you can only think one thought at a time.
Yeah, that's right. And
And
that's
so,
also, hey, that's also true, because think
yeah,
about this is, people say, I don't know how my emotions are. I can't be happy and I can't be sad at the same time. So you can't
exactly.
be calm and you can't be anxious at the same time. So people don't realize that, but they do. Yeah. So it's
Yes.
super important. Yeah.
So you can only do one thing at a time, really and truly. I mean, you can only write out one word at a time. You can't write 10 words at the same time, even though that might
That's
be
a
what's going
skill.
on in your that's a skill. And you can't speak more than one word at a time. I don't know. Sometimes I get my words flubbed up. And so I might
Well,
try to
they
get
they
two out at the
compact.
same
So
time.
I
But
noticed that, being the speech coach that I am, they compact,
yeah,
try to say I'm a man, and then you don't know what it is.
right. And so with that, taking the time to actually understand I can only do one thing at a time and do it well. But if you're taking the time to understand the power that you have now and being mindful of the power you have now, pick what's the most important at the top of your list and begin working on it. And
Yeah.
then move down your list. But stop trying to do four 10, 50 different things at once because nothing will get completed. And it's stressful on your body, it's stressful on your heart, your mind,
Mhm.
and it will deplete you, if you will, of your energy. So try to focus on one thing at a time. And the best way you can do this is even beginning by in the morning. Set your intentions, fill out your calendar. These are the things I need to try to get done today. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
look at that and check it off and give yourself a congratulations, a
Yeah.
pat on the back.
that's right.
Be kind to yourself
Yeah.
and be grateful for the things that you did accomplish. Maybe you had 10 things on your list and 6 of them got done and the other 4 did not.
More
A
you did.
lot of
Yes.
times we beat ourselves up for that 4 that we didn't do, and we don't give ourselves credit for the 6 that we did complete.
For sure, for
So we
sure.
can move those 4 over to the next day if need be, and do not continue to stress over it, but give yourself some appreciation, some gratitude for the things that you did get accomplished and that they were focused, they were done. And again, once you raise your energy, and I found this to be truly the case, when I started meditating, I was more mindful of the power I had now, and I raised my energy up. I got more done in less effort and less time because I could just flow through it. And even with writing a book, as you mentioned, those things all, you have to be focused.
That's
You
right.
have to be
That's right.
setting your intentions and be in the flow.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry, we're going to take the final last minute break here, and we're going to come back with Terry J. Walker and some final thoughts. And we will be right back. And we're back for our last wrap up here. I am so pleased that we've learned a lot about purpose, intentions, multitasking, concentration, developing ourselves. We've learned so much from you, Terry. You've really helped us all do a lot of things that we don't often have time to do. And so I would encourage people to rewatch this show to get those teachings that you did as well. And I also know that you also have a show on Mupo Entertainment. So I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about your show, give us all the contact information. So if we want to do something with you or be coached by you or just connect with you in some way, shape, or form, that the audience can do so. So take it away, Terry.
Thank you so very much. My show is currently streaming on Mupo Entertainment. It's called the I Am Power Hour. And the tagline with that is the courage to rise and thrive, where we went out and actually interviewed and found people who are helping to make a difference, who had that courage to go through that fear and have that courage to rise and thrive, and to let you know that anybody can do this if they're willing to find their passion and their skills and abilities and focus on that. And you can also reach out and find me at IamTerryJWalker.com, and that is my website. Along with social media is Terry J Walker Publications on Facebook is one of my Facebook pages. And Instagram is inspireandmotivate.im.
Wow. Good deal. I hope everybody gets connected with Terry J because she's got lots to offer, lots to share, lots to give. And as we conclude this, mastery of communication is essential in our world today. All of the things that we need to do to connect and share with others, whether it's face to face, on the phone, or online, like we are here today, good communication in all forms is truly the secret sauce to your personal and professional success.
Yes.
Special thanks today to this episode's guest from Mupo Entertainment, Terry J. Walker. And I so appreciate you all tuning into my show, courtesy of Mupo Entertainment, where you can catch a lot of other great shows, not even mine, but other people's like Terry J's. So don't forget, on social media, I am connected. I am the What to Say TV show at gmail.com. Also, all of my other Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff is Dr. Julie Hafner, and whatever the platform is, and that is it. So thank you so much to my special guest. Thank you so much. It's been a really good entertainment and education today. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That concludes our show for today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't miss our next episode. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and see you next time on the What to Say TV show right here on Mupo Entertainment.
Show the skill for your success. Top professionals call her to gain impact and speak confidently. She has shared the stage with serial entrepreneurs from JT Fox and George Ross to celebrities like Vanilla Ice and Jillian Michaels. Let Dr. Julie bring power to your business relationships.